Ready? Okay, we have Dale and Troy from Seether. First question, and I'll go back and forth since I know you're the newbie. Ozfest 2002. Was that the first big tour that Seether did in the States?
Yeah. We went on to smaller runs before that, opening for some other bands. But yeah, as far as big tours and really learning the ropes, that was the first one for us.
Now with the tour on Ozfest, the success of Disclaimer started to reach its peak, and then Disclaimer 2 came out. What was the reason behind releasing it with the bonuses and the B-sides and some of the reworked songs?
That was actually more of a record company decision. We were opposed to it at first. We didn't want the fans to get mad at us for making them go out and buy the album again just to get a couple extra, or get an extra track. So we agreed to do it because they originally just wanted to put Broken on the end of the album that we released it. So we agreed to do it if we could, add some, more B-sides and put some video footage on there and at least make it worthwhile. Basically attach an EP to the end of the album we had already and then release that.
So were you expecting, when you re-recorded Broken, were you expecting that kind of commercial success with the song?
No, we just did it for a soundtrack, and it just kind of got a life of its own. I guess with Evanescence's success at the time, it just blew up, and there was a huge demand for the song. So that was crazy.
And as far as that one of the first times I saw you guys was with Essence and Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace. And the lineup was a little different. Now this time around it was just Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace. How different does it feel to open for the bands that opened for you 5-6 years ago?
It happens all the time. At different stages of your album, we just released the album and basically starting over again, and Breaking Benjamin were sort of at the end of their cycle, so we're open for them. If they release their new album, or when we're at the end of our cycle, they'll probably open for us again. So it's always sort of up and down like that. Bands come and go, and albums do better, and touring cycles, and it's like there's a lot to it. So it happens all the time. It's not uncommon. It's pretty normal thing.
Okay, as far as I may say the name wrong, is there a big difference musically? Because I've not heard any of your original work. Okay. Musically, is there a big difference between that and what you're doing right now?
No. I mean, there's the obvious differences, of how we've sort of evolved, as the years have gone by. But we've always sort of done the same thing. It's a lot of the songs that were on the first album that we released as Sarin Gas. A lot of those albums were on our first Seether release in the States. So, we've pretty much always done the same thing. It's like I said, it's evolved, over the years, but we've always been the same band.
Okay, now one of the first times I photographed you guys, the press pass had it looked like a tribal uterus.
Yeah.
Is there a story behind that?
Yeah, I think what it was. We were just kind of sitting one day, and I think we're actually recording the first album. And, and we're like, let's get a uterus and we'll make it all tribalized. And so we did it. Sean's actually got a tattoo on his arm. So that's kind of funny.
Now, with being around as long as you have, there's always going to be new fans who are going to get introduced when they hear whatever the latest radio single is. Can you describe the progression of the 5 albums for someone who's just finding beauty in negative spaces, as opposed to those of us who bought Disclaimer way back when?
Yeah. I think, as time goes by, or at least for us, I think we've matured a lot. As songwriters and players, and I think you can hear that on the albums. The first stuff we did was sort of very basic, and not that it was bad, but just compared to the way you think now, or what experience brings, I think you can definitely hear that. We're better at what we do now. Hopefully, I think there's better music on like Finding Beauty in Negative Spaces. I think each album for us has been a step forward. Each album's done a little bit better than the last one, and I think the songs have been we're better at playing them. So.
Now, Dean Carr is one of my inspirations as a photographer. He's worked with you guys on 4 videos?
He did 2. Yeah.
Tell us that, working with him.
Working with Dean was great. He's completely out of his mind. But, he's got really good ideas and, he's really original. So, it's always nice working with someone who's really into the art of the whole thing, wants to make something visually cool and different, and something that people will want to watch, whether it's on YouTube or buying it on iTunes or whatever the case is. But it makes really interesting stuff.
Okay, now Troy.
Yes, sir.
How would you describe touring with Seether as opposed to Double Drive, Dark Day, Evanescence?
I think it's pretty much the same, you kind of do the same thing every day, you wake up, you go, and your main goal is to play the show for the fans that night. But I guess the difference with Seether from Double Drive would be that Double Drive touring the band. Yeah, and we drink a lot, but that's been every tour I've ever been on, so that's pretty much the same, it's good. The guys are cool, and we've been friends for, I guess, 6 years now, and I was fortunate to be able to meet these guys early, 2002, I guess, when they first started touring over here. I opened up for them and started making Double Drive, so coming in wasn't a get to know each other things.
So, did either of you have expectations for the other with having the new edition and with playing with Seether?
I expected them to buy me drinks at all times. I don't know. I was just hoping that it was gonna work out. I hope I would have more expectations of myself, I guess, than I did of them.
I think we were pretty confident. We'd known Troy and all the stuff he'd done, and we had no doubt that he'd be able to pull it off and really nail the songs. So much so that we hardly even rehearsed. we were in LA and Troy flew out. We're like, okay, we leave tomorrow to go on tour. And I think we ran through the songs one time, and Troy's like, guys, I'd really like to run through the songs one more time if we can. We're like, nah, I really don't feel like it. You'll be fine. We got on stage 2 days later, and he nailed it, and we knew he would, and we've been friends for a while, and that's important too. That was one of the main things for us. We wanted someone who was one, a great player, but also someone we knew we could get on with, and who's done this before and knows what being on the road's about. Not gonna freak out, and Troy was the guy.